Heyo guys, welcome back to another episode of Vibes and Victories Season 2, Episode 1. The year of first. 2025 is the year of first, gentlemen, might I say.
Yeah.
So many firsts have been happening. You know, this is going to be the first episode, first full episode of Vibes and Victories, rather. And yesterday, I actually the first time as well. First, gentlemen, we're saying 2025. Vibes and a victory. You know, we're saying
that was a vibe.
we're saying 2025 is the year of first, right? I think that should be our theme. 2025, the year of first. Lots to talk about, you know, the NFL, football, rugby, and of course, Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. Donald Trump. Did you guys watch the inauguration this morning?
I didn't. I saw it online.
Yeah, I hardly got any sleep. Trump did a very different. There was no public. They moved the venue. It was quite an interesting one. Elon Musk was there dancing. I don't know what he was on, but it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you know, watched a lot of entertaining things over this festive. The latest result that came in like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Djokovic beat Alcaraz.
Okay.
Imagine that. That was a proper upset.
Wow.
No one thought the old man would do that. He schooled the apprentice.
Yeah.
And yeah, but other than that, formalities out the way. Sinaye, tell us about our man in the house today for the first time, our new guest.
Yeah, man. I mean, we did say this was a year of first, right? And I'm going to test you guys' rugby knowledge a bit, all right? This man is the first man to ever score, the first player of color to ever score a try in a Currie Cup final. If you know your story, you'll know who I'm talking about, man. I feel like I even have to read this, guys. Come on. Like, this man, he is a Free State Cheetahs player, all right? A Lions and Sharks rugby player at junior and senior level. Not just junior level, guys. This man's career was blazing. But I did feel like it was a bit shorter than what it's supposed to be, all right? I'm talking about a husband, a father, you know, an all-around good man. Mr. Tsepo, I don't want to butcher. I want to butcher your surname.
You're gonna, so let me help you there.
All right.
It's Kokoali.
Kokoali.
You might be surprised out there, people. It's Kokoali.
Kokoali.
So it's in Lesotho. I'm a Hong Kong Sotho who's grew up in Cape Town, Xhosa, so tennis Xhosa, sorry. But dad is Sotho, so Kokoali.
Okay. For those of you who, like myself, before we had to prep for this interview, who might not know who you are, could you just like give us a brief intro? No, even if it's like 30 seconds of who Tsepo Kokoali's career was like who is Tsepo?
First and foremost, he's a fiance.
Can
we just really?
Okay.
Because I was like, are you moving?
That's how we're all laughing.
I was like, are you moving on?
Okay.
You just
I'm like, shit, I hope this nigga didn't divorce now. Like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So fiance.
Okay.
Trying to be a husband. Because let me correct you there, I'm a fiance. Who am I? Tsepo Kokoali, grew up in Cape Town, was born in Paarl, lived in Langa. And I went to just a crazy rugby school. I'm a Bishop's boy, so that's where the rugby bit. Basil Bay was my mentor. Rugby and cricket, that was my thing, you know. And then after school, Basil came and found me on the 2nd of Jan. Still can't forget that. Don't know how he found me. 2nd of Jan, I think I just got recovered from the New Year's Eve, and he sent me on my way. He sent me packing. I spent 3 months in George with Steph Nell, and after that, he signed me up with the Free State Griffins, Northern Free State Griffins, and I played the Vodacom Cup there in 2000 as an 18-year-old. Wow. Trust me, I've seen things. I've seen things. And man, in Welcome, dude. I started in Welcome as an 18-year-old. Wow. Then I came to Joburg, literally went to go see Bobs and OG. And they said, man, come speak to Lofi. Had a chat with Lofi, and the next thing I knew, I was in Joburg I came for a weekend, and I stayed 4 years or 3 years. Played all my junior rugby here. Played SN21 here at the Lions. Won the World Cup with Jake White.
Nice.
Then went to the Cheetahs. Jake was like, if you want to play rugby, go play with the best, and the best are the Cheetahs, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with my kind of game of running rugby. So I went and played with the Cheetahs.
At the time.
Yeah.
Very important.
That was hectic.
At the time.
It was a crazy place to go play rugby. You're right. It fitted with the way you played, 100%.
Yeah, so spent 2 years there at the Cheetahs. Then went to the Sharks. 4 growing operations later, things happened.
4.
4 grown operations later. Maybe we'll chat about that later. Stopped rugby for a while. Joined up with my boy Fudge, and played a little bit at the Bulls.
Yeah.
Played a couple of games for the Bulls, but then finished off in France. Dislocated my shoulder, and then I was like, okay, it's enough. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm now been in the events game since before while we're still playing.
Okay.
We actually did some events. We were doing events, the hip hop vibes. If you know Boks and the fifth floor brothers. So always been in the event space. It was SAB, Glenfiddich, moved around, tried to do my own thing. But yeah, back in the agency space. Events manager. That's what I do.
Oh man,
Killing it.
Speaking about all things events, I'm seeing a very eventful chemistry forming here. Do you want to take us back to how you know this man? Because you seem like you're the one that like really knows him, eh?
Mate, so Sinaye, so actually, let me take it from right now, what I'm experiencing right now.
Okay.
So I've been watching a lot of podcasts, right? And I see guys who have played with someone, but before they played with them, they got to watch them, got to sort of emulate them, try to reenact what they do on the touch rugby field, especially if you're a Cheetahs player, and then afterwards get to have a conversation with them, looking at the game, both not being in it anymore, really. You know what I'm saying? So that is just a crazy thing, by the way, bro. Hey. And secondly, it was so entertaining.
Is it?
Having Coco at the Bulls during that phase as well. He was already quite experienced. It was during a time where I think the game was sort of evolving a bit. Bobs and all of those guys were coming through. Kaund, Aduja was there coming through as well. They're actually a couple of... You guys played together at the Cheetahs, I think. As well,
I remember that. I remember
right?
Me and Kaunda have a long history.
Yeah. So some amazing guys to look up to.
Yeah.
So when he came through to the Bulls, and we were jolling Vodies, we were playing Vodacom Cup there. I was still quite young, so it was an achievement, and there were a lot of young guys who were playing in that, but there were some proper older guys who came through. Driscoll was one of them, rugby legend.
Wow.
Vessel Rue, our captain.
Vessel Rue was our captain at a stage. He's now a very important part of the Lions' success recently as their forwards and scrummaging coach. But Driscoll was 120 kilos, as an inside center. If it was X-Men, this would be Professor X.
What does Esther Hazen have on him, eh?
Mate, I'm talking about some crazy kind of rugby as well. It was almost like if club rugby had to go professional and you're allowed to sort of play in your backyard where you could do what you want.
Some Copa Stamp vibes.
It was like that. And it was insane at that time at the Bulls. And having him there, every single practice session was entertaining. Skills galore. We started to have a bit of confidence and a bit of a voice as well, because we had these guys taking on, some of the older guys, and we're talking legacy stages at the Bulls as well. During that period of time is when the Bulls were starting to become one of the best sides in the world.
Yeah, they would double. What do you call it? Super Rugby winners.
Yeah,
boring rugby, but they want to assist.
You love them as well, mate. Don't lie, Don't lie.
So for me, it was very funny, because I got there. Long story short, just to cut Fudge off there, sorry Fudge, but just long story short, how I got into the Bull setup, I was actually walking in the street. I'd given up rugby, and I was walking in the street, and Ashley Everett stopped his car, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Like, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing with your life?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I stopped rugby. My groin packed up, and I just decided, let me just take some time out." And I just found out my son was conceived, so I'd come back to sort of try and handle that. But yeah, man, Ashley was like, "Hey, pull in," and I literally pulled in with the under-19s, and I was running around with the under-19s, and then all my peers were all on the Super Rugby side. So it was Fourie Dupree, Akona Dungani, Brian was my junior at the Lions. So all those guys just laughing at me, and I'm there running to chandering, vomiting, running with these under-19s, and they just they had this thing called blow blood. I'll never forget that thing.
Yeah. What's that?
But why did you do that?
Is blow.
I don't think he had to do that, because he had that sort of, you have that OG sort of a thing, right? And I think you must have had an agreement with some of the coaches. And to be honest, the way that you practice and train, it's almost like you're a player coach. To be fair, you know, a lot of what I learned about how to connect with the backline, etc. I learned from this bra.
Wow.
You know, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, man. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, just
Speaking facts,
to be able to, as a fullback, understand what a forward needs to do, third, fourth phase, how to handle the blind side. You know what I mean, and how you can link up with the fullback. Changes the game. In fact, a lot of people are doing it now in the modern game, you know, and this is what I'm talking. This is how far ahead with the game Coco was. So
I'm not gonna lie. What I've learned from this story is that don't let your groin set you back, bro. Whether it's a conceived child or an injury, all you kids must learn. But I would like to know about the past. Let's hear about some results.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm sorry. Speaking about setbacks, man, let's not set the show back, all right? So we've gotten the formalities out of the way. And we know our brother here, Mr. Tsepo, is a sport fanatic, even though he's a chill guy. That's what your Twitter bio says, right? Calling yourself a chill guy, right?
Hey, man, I try.
Moving back to the retro results. Australian Open, Chubbs.
Hey,
What was happening there, man?
Yeah, that was quite crazy with the Aussie Open with that upset today. So that opens up the draw. The old Bali could do it again, even though he's got in a bit of controversy not doing the media after the match the other day, and then going to beat Alcaraz. So that's quite dope. That happened about 2 hours
Maybe
ago.
that explains it, though.
Maybe
that explains it.
Maybe
the media gets in his head.
Let's see what the conference looked like. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it's happened already. But it's quite interesting. But outside of that, it's a lot of retro results we need to talk about from the past weekend.
Yeah, man.
Let's not forget, Fudge, we need to speak about this team, Chief. There's a problem going on there, Chief. Every time we get a chance, we drop the ball. I don't know what's going on. We drew to Villa 2-2. I don't know how that happened.
I'm going to say some controversial stuff.
Yeah?
I'm going to say some controversial stuff. And you know what? I'm going to back it up, mate.
Okay.
For the first time, finally, we're actually throwing it away at a time where it's a slump, right? We're going through a slump. Hopefully, we can finish it off with 10 straight wins somewhere along the line. Right? So usually we mess it up towards the end. Now, at least it's looking kind of normal for everyone in the middle. Hopefully we can get a strong finish. Who knows what's happening in the EPL, babe? Who knows what's happening in the EPL?
Is Saka going to make it back? Or
Can I say something else that's controversial? Can I say something else that's controversial? I actually like what old Sterling's throwing in the mix there. The ball is moving. He might not be executing, right? There might be a lack of accuracy, but he's moving. He's showing intent. Attitude. Arsenal need attitude. Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah, no.
Arsenal need attitude. You can't teach Udegaard how to square a ball in. You can't teach him how to get his instinct back and start shooting for goal, right?
Yeah,
you can't teach him that, right? But with the little Sterling, who's playing instinct, who's taking on players. He's a Balik. How's that for confidence? How's that for courage? He's taking on players he knows are faster, right? Maybe more agile, but to be fair, close enough. He's almost winning those battles.
Yeah,
He's not too far.
Close enough. But anyway, that's something controversial, and you guys are thinking about it.
Fudge is an optimistic kind of. I like the optimistic way. I like it, but that's what you're gonna. Anyway, other results. Newcastle got all the money in the world. Got chowed by Bournemouth 4-1. Everton, Charles Tottenham, I reckon 3-2. So that kind of means Ange has got to go. I think his time is up. Should he lose the next match, it's over. You know. And then Man United.
What's new?
I'm a guest here. Why didn't you leg up?
In fact, thank you. Let's grill him real quick. Let's grill him real quick while he's here, man.
Tell me more about Man United, Coco. What's going on there?
I can't tell you anything.
So straight up, did you hear what the coach was busy saying, man?
Dude, I think I hope he hasn't lost the change room. That sounds like losing the change room kind of chat. When you start saying things like you're the worst team that's ever played.
Has he lost you? Has he lost you? Has he lost the fans?
I don't tease him now.
Hey.
I could sway very quickly. I like Arsenal football, so I might just...
What? So you're a bandwagon fan?
So I used to diss Arsenal for the longest time. Everyone knows. I used to diss Arsenal, but I always used to say this. Arsenal, beautiful handwriting. All wrong answers.
Man, how do you switch this around on Arsenal?
I was still in that one. I won't lie.
We're talking about Man United.
As a Ghana, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, even if they're losing, they're playing like beautiful. So, Tina,
It looks
Man
like
United.
what
Aye.
Barca is about, but they just don't have the
The
execution.
finish.
Yeah.
But Man United, okay.
Yeah, but then on the other side of Manchester, these guys are making a run.
Back.
They're coming back.
Slowly, man.
There's less distance between us and them than there is between us and Liverpool. They're closer to us than we are to Liverpool. And
We're talking
so,
about Man City.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about Man City.
yeah. Kanti, where have you been?
I
Have
like
you-
clone.
Hey.
I'm convinced he's a clone.
I don't know. There's pressure, and pressure creates diamonds, mate. Or it does what's expected in an accelerated fashion. You know what I mean? So let's see, bro. Pep Guardiola's under all kinds of pressure. It's out in the media now. It's messy, man.
Yeah.
Laundry's getting hit left, right, and center.
Yeah,
Could be grounds for people to find it personal, and that, as we know, gives you an
Even a
extra
video
gear,
of Pep
right?
trending when a fan was heckling him. Did you see? I see that
I saw
video.
that. I saw that.
But isn't he
That's
going
what-
through something?
Yeah, no.
Going through a lot.
Well,
Could be.
essentially, he was supposed to sign on, but he was delaying that thing. So they didn't buy any new players as City. They let a lot of the old guard stay. So that's like the biggest issue at the moment with City. Because during that time, they don't know if a new coach comes in, what if he wants a whole bunch of different stock, you know? So right now, Pep is working with what he's been working with back in the day.
Yeah, City,
and
City,
he's-
though.
and
No, but I
City,
thought he
City.
had like a personal. There was a
Oh,
personal
divorce.
issue. Yeah, the personal issue. I think that
Yeah,
it has
that
to do.
could-
It has to.
Yeah, that can
It
affect
has
you.
to do.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I think
Yeah, City, guys.
Can't sleep
At
on the
end of
mental
day-
side of things.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
respect.
No, so anyway, so then we're seeing as we've got a rugby guest here. The rugby results of the weekend were also questionable. Bulls, Charles start Francais 48-7. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, moving right
so
along.
they
It does matter.
Storm,
It does matter.
Stormers
man.
get beaten 31-22 by
Is it they
Racing.
beat him? I'm sure they said
Sharks
they
catch a hiding 66-12.
Yo,
That game.
That one.
You see now,
I
now
mean,
mate, if you
that
want to
game.
talk about something,
You
yeah,
see that game?
that Sharks game, and I'll quickly, I know I'm talking a lot here, né, but hear me out here. The Sharks needed to get through to the Investec Champions Cup. They needed to just, I think it was a points difference of something like 40 points, right? They couldn't afford to lose. So when they were losing by 40 points to 12 or whatever, they were still okay. For them to let it go all the way out,
like that.
60 points, mate.
No.
60
Yeah.
points. They had to be
That's a-
beaten
but
by
I think-
40 points plus or something like that for one of the sides that are underneath Ulster, if I'm not mistaken, to go through. That's a bit crazy, but maybe, who knows? Maybe they want the Challenge Cup back to back.
But I mean, the halftime score was like, what, 19-12?
Yeah, I was very
It was very
disappointed
tight.
with
And then
how that
second
happened.
off, that's
what I
when
was
the
saying.
game
That's
just
what like
went.
something after that yellow card. Something
Yeah, no, there was a...
But that is the best side in the tournament, though, by far.
I mean, it's got the
think.
best players. So.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
And Sharks do have a lot of
Right, Borna,
injuries.
right?
We have to be fair.
So-
Yeah.
They've got a
Yeah.
lot of injuries.
Lot
like
of
their best
Boks
players
are
weren't
out,
there.
actually.
Yeah.
But for me, like I've been watching this what is it now? What is it called? Champions and the URC. We're getting dominated. It's weird. I've never seen South African packs getting dominated,
Yeah.
bullied,
Yeah.
like not even like smashed. And I'm just wondering what's going.
What do you
Have
think
they
was the
caught up?
problem?
Have they caught up? And obviously they've got the money, so they've got the players.
Yeah.
Have they caught up that much that they're getting all the big players to try to beat us physically? Or have we somehow let too many go, or we not keeping up? I don't know.
question.
Something's not making sense.
I've been mulling over it as well. Quick question. Detail, right? Is it detail or attitude for me?
It's
Is it
attitude.
detail or attitude?
It's
Where do you
attitude,
think
but-
they're falling off?
No, it's attitude, and also like the Europeans are playing a faster game. We are still playing this like very set phase. They don't want to die. They don't want to die with the ball. It's pass before, during, after contact. As they hit the ground, they're offloading. They're unstructured, and they're all reacting and playing to situation, right? And in South Africa, we struggle with that.
Yeah.
So that's funny you say that. Because, sorry to cut you off, it's almost like we do that at national level, but at provincial level, we come almost archaic. We're still stuck in
Yes,
our ways, yeah?
because- yeah.
And that's got a lot to do with the coaches.
With the coaching.
and, yeah, you know.
So right,
definitely the
mate.
culture.
Maybe the
You know.
culture as
Yeah.
well.
And the culture,
Because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking back in our days.
You guys were in the system.
Which was very, and remember, Brakoko, that's when things were becoming very quick, professional, a different kind of brand of rugby. And the Cheetahs were like the factory for that. They were world renowned for it. But now, the coaching and all of that was good back then, but we were told not to offload. We had some crazy.
50,
we were
50
told,
passes.
remember,
Don't do
50
50
passes
passes.
and whatnot.
Wait,
Don't you
no,
dare.
wait.
Now it's a thing of even
Sorry.
if you're in contact,
What?
try and chuck that thing back, even if it goes back 10 meters,
Fudge,
just so
what?
you can play continually.
You were
know?
told to not offload.
No, well, we were told to not play 50 passes. It was much more. Let me put it this way. Hey, you
Like,
guys are gonna
that's a
take
shocker
it.
for me.
Let me put it like this, Fudge. Let me make it like this. It was an easier win than sitting through a debrief in a video session. Like for you to hold that ball was a better thing, knowing that Monday no one's gonna pick on you for 30 minutes.
Then you to offload it,
Asking why you offloaded.
and it didn't work.
Guys, this
And
is
it didn't
like a.
Yeah, dude.
So it
For
was
me,
a
it's like
different
a,
times.
Yeah, different times. Kick chase
Oh
rugby.
my
Different
goodness.
times, different
Kick
times.
chase rugby.
And the fact
times.
that you even called it a 50-50, like what is that?
Yeah.
Is that a good pass or a bad pass? It's not
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah. So do you know what's really interesting? Sorry, I have to touch on this. We're dragging now. Here's a little nugget for you. So I met Brian Liebenberg right at the game this past weekend, and the same way if you guys have been following the URC etc. Champions Cup, you'll know that the Sharks had a meeting with Toulouse after the game to share sort of techniques and share IP, right, intellectual property. They did the same thing at the Bulls. But listen to this stat. Speaking about you saying that maybe we're not playing a quick game, listen to this stat. In that Bulls Stade Francais game, I think there were 6 forwards that grabbed the ball successfully. I think it was an 85% success.
All round
It was it was Akker van der Merwe, someone, and this is the interesting thing. When I spoke to Brian Liebenberg, he mentions to me that he's there to work with Kennedy Tsimba, and they're working on what I think is where the problem is: cognitive training, right?
Shout out
so
to
how
Kennedy.
do you
Shout out to
react?
Kennedy. Shout
How
out,
do you
shout out,
react
shout out.
when the ball is knocked on, right? Kennedy, yo, Hall of Fame, World Rugby Hall of Famer, Kennedy
Famer.
Tsimba, man,
Yeah.
and
Him and his brother.
he's doing some really crazy stuff
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
we'll-
Bulls.
we'll-
And seeing those grubbers working,
Yeah.
because that's what you do, right? The ball's knocked down. What do? Most people back in the day were taught to
But
dive
I mean,
on it, dive on
I
it,
think it's a new
recycle.
part of the game. Backline coaches have a lot more say in the forward pack. People are like, even in South Africa, like you're saying, with South Africa, we are able to adapt. It's just locally, as provincials go, we need to get more and more coaches who give us opportunity for, like, let's be honest, black rugby to be played.
Yeah, more innovation, less structure, yeah?
I'm gonna call you out there because it's not black rugby. It's rugby. Let's not label it. It's rugby, dog.
Yeah.
Because when you start putting those labels, then it starts causing
Watering it
division.
down.
And,
Yeah, fair enough.
It's rugby. It's the way it's supposed to be played. You gotta play the situation as you see it. If it's 3-on-2, you should
Yeah.
always score.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a question of,
Yeah. Before we get into all the nostalgia and all of that, I can see we're starting to run away.
We're getting
with that. I'm just
carried
going to
away
go through a couple of
We're
last
slipping.
results, and then we'll look at some of the festive stuff, and then we'll kind of look at some of our guest Coco's past, and we can kind of lean into that just now. But and no SA teams in the last 16. That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to start asking yourself: is it worthwhile moving from Super Rugby across to Europe? Are we taking it that seriously? We send one team that's almost like a B-side.
Yep.
It becomes a bit confusing for me. So I think we'll
We're getting there.
We're
getting
let's
there.
see how next
We
season
cannot go
goes. But
anywhere
it's
else.
embarrassing, yeah.
I mean, the big question is, do we really claim to be like the biggest rugby nation at this point if this happens?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a debate. Because, I mean, internationally, we're stepping up. But then club level, it's like things like this happen.
Hey, but money talks.
Can we still claim it?
Yeah, it's
But
interesting.
we've got the
fair.
most amount of rugby union members.
rugby players.
And then others that are more interested in La Liga. It's an interesting situation going on there in La Liga. We'll lean into a bit later with the predictions near the tail end of the show. But Real Madrid obviously beats Las Palmas 4-1. And then Barcelona drops points to Getafe 1-1. They played the draw. So that gap is quite interesting. I think it's about 9 points maybe between Real Madrid and Barca. But it's only 2 points with Madrid, yeah? With other Madrid. So, yeah.
And Mbappe there scored there.
Yeah, well,
He scored 2 or 3.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
about
So-
you guys
the
in Real
highlights.
Madrid.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
Man U,
I
Real
would
Madrid,
just say
Kaiser
that.
Chiefs.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, except for that, I guess, guys, I don't know if any of you guys are into like NFL, but it's the playoffs at the moment.
Yeah.
Things are happening leading up to the Super Bowl. The results were quite interesting. The biggest upset there was the Washington Commanders beating the Detroit Lions 45-31. That was quite interesting. Philly went through against the Rams 28-22. Kansas City beat Houston, Texas 23-14, and the Bills beat the Ravens 27-25. So this weekend we'll have the conference playoffs, and then Super Bowl comes, I think, first weekend of Feb. That's always a treat. New Orleans should be a good show.
Yeah.
So interesting times ahead in that. As for
What's the talk with Coach Prime, bro? I know this is a very off topic in a way. Isn't Coach Prime coming into the NFL?
Let's see, because he's playing with his lighties for the last season now, and they're going to be moving on. So
Family.
and he's quite a hype guy. He's kind of like the ball bully. He's got Lorenzo Ball and all the ball guys. He said one day all these kids, he said it about 15 years ago, all going to be in the NBA, and they're all in the NBA.
With sponsors and shoes.
Yeah, and they're killing it. Prime is kind of on that same tip. But over the festive, just rolling it back a bit because we haven't seen each other in a couple of months. I'm going to run through these very quickly. Australia obviously cleaned up against the Indians at home in that test series. There's that Lighty Kostanakis was doing some funny ones.
Crazy.
Against Bumrah. Ramping Bumrah first, second over.
But he's charging Bumrah like in the opening over.
Unbelievable, Chef. I've heard Lighties already starting to speak about it, like school Lighties. I was at Lighty tournaments over the festive in Cape Town, and all of them are talking about this Lighty. And he just made his debut, So that was quite interesting to watch for those that are interested in cricket and whatever. Proteas obviously won against Pakistan. That's quite dope because it qualifies us for the test final at Lords. Now in June.
Can't wait.
Shout out Pavuma.
Let's go.
Those couple of centuries were
And that's
dope.
Scomline, huh? That's from Langa.
No, guys, but
Scomline.
speaking about Lighties, I think it's a crime if we don't mention our very own Lighty, Gwena Mapaga, and what he's been doing.
You
know what I love
There's
about
no
that
way.
whole situation is that he's got someone like Temba Pavuma there. Mate.
And
you know what's
who's
even-
KG
someone
on
who,
the side.
KG there.
So on that point of KG, actually, KG, he's more than a cricketer. He's a businessman. He's got his own sports, company, agency or whatever. And actually, Mapaga is actually signed under KG.
Wow, shout out.
That's some US vibes.
And,
huh?
and they're both Saints boys,
Nice.
And he's the OG. He just needs to keep it under control. You got to let Mapaga go.
Yeah, I think let him
in a
rip,
couple of
huh?
years' times, he's only ripping mid 140s.
He's boiling mid 140s.
And he's a lefty,
He's boiling 140.
153.
He's boiling 145.
He hit 153. I'm trying to think of the school
And they
kids.
must
How do
listen.
you face 153 as an 18-year-old
18-year-old,
kid?
yeah.
There's no way.
Lapo,
He was killing them.
Lapo, he got his
2024.
first. He got his first cap before he got his matric results. So that's quite dope.
That's
So,
massive.
shout out.
I
Shout out.
wonder if he played against any kids in 2024. Did he play any high school games?
He definitely did.
Like when is he not
Shame.
allowed? Like when is he
Shame.
actually pizzaring the light
He was murdering them.
And then obviously Premier League, which we all love. Liverpool seems to be dominating. We can't deny that. None of us support the team, but we've got to own up. Arsenal, as I said earlier, keep dropping the ball. It's a bit of a mess. Other than that, NFL, I know Detroit Lions are getting out of it. We've spoken about SA Rugby. And then obviously last and the least is this is Real Madrid going to win the La Liga? I know Gogs is the one that made sure we spoke about this. He's a strong supporter. But that's kind of what's happened over the festive. So keep a close eye on all of that stuff. Keep a close eye on the test final that's coming up at Lords. We're playing Australia at Lords.
Gonna be a good one.
Watch out for the Sangoma there somewhere in the crowd.
Hey.
Quite nice.
Okay.
But outside of that, let's get back to our esteemed guest, Mr. Coco. Sinaye, what's going on there?
Yeah, man. So you've already spoken about the rich results, spoken a bit about our sport and all of that. But I don't know, like as you were speaking now and Fudge also adding on, like for me, it's very interesting as a sport fanatic, like having watched all of these guys that you guys mentioned, like that you played with and all of that. For me, it's very interesting to note the difference in times in terms of sports, like how sport was like back then, rugby in particular, and how it is now. Like, what would you say is the most notable difference that like not a lot of people who aren't like a part of what you guys were part of would notice? Like, what's the major difference between then and like right now?
You want me to hit it off?
Yeah.
Coach of the year. I'm like, yeah, come on now.
And I mean, don't hold back. Like, get into it because I'm
yeah.
trying to understand.
I think you need to understand time.
Yeah.
We only went professional in 1995. And so by the time
I wasn't even born.
I started playing pro, I was 18 years old. It was 2000. To fast forward 2024, it is chalk and cheese. It is worlds apart. I spent Jake was a bit of a mentor to me growing up. So I went about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I went and I spent a week at the Bulls. Piwe Nomlomo.
Oh, Coach P.
So you went back there.
Zips.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zips. So
You see
Zips.
Coach P?
You know Zips,
Sure,
Coach
sure.
P. So he's like, said, hey, Jake, he was like, no, man, come through, pull in. So I spent a week there. And just by chance, Thingy was there as well, Scott Matty.
Yeah.
So we were there just watching them train. And just watching that, for me, showed me how, in the last 10 years, how much it's evolved. It is insane. They have technology on technology. Every player is monitored 365. It's insane. They have drones over every single practice. Then after they practice, they go into the room and study what they just practiced. It's like what?
Yo.
Everyone is monitored. If you hit the red zone, you get pulled off the field. Pulled off the field. What?
What does that even
What
mean?
does that even mean?
You'd get off the field only when you
you
started vomiting.
vomit.
That was your
Do you know what I mean?
red
Yeah.
zone.
When you're vomiting, then they're like, okay, maybe stop running. But like, no, they just everything is it's high tech. It's next level.
It's a chore.
And it's actually like it's beautiful to watch. I mean, just being at that practice, I just learned so much just watching practice. So yeah, it's changed. Yeah,
A lot.
a whole lot.
Do you think in terms of that, like, it's affected the players' endurance levels? Because, for example, you saying you got pulled off when you like vomit, like being pulled off in the red zone. Do you think it like preserves players? You know, in terms of like maybe acquiring
there's
injuries
definitely a science to it.
Okay.
No, there's definitely the science is caught up. And yeah, so they manage players now, and guys have longer careers or less severe injuries. Because a lot of the injuries happen when you're unfit and when you're tired. So that last 10 minutes of a game, people's knees and things, because you're not using proper technique. It's a whole fitness thing. So yeah, you know now if you hit the red zone, they're like, no, dude,
You need to slow
come
down.
off the field.
It's like a video game right now, yeah. And then take us back. Take us back to your first groin injury.
Yeah, so my groin
did
is
that
a crazy talking point. I had 4 groin operations. The first 2 were unsuccessful, left and right.
How
both
does a
sides.
groin injury become unsuccessful?
So I had basically what I had was a sportsman's hernia.
Okay.
So this is from I was just kicking way too much.
I was gonna say, mate, at under 21,
Yeah.
I didn't know you
Yeah.
as a kicker.
I was a
later.
fly-off. I'm a fly-off.
When you
I was a
came,
fly-off
but
that-
when you came to the Bulls, were you still kicking for? You weren't kicking for balls.
But look, that's after my groin.
The groin, and
That's
you had to
after,
stop
so
kicking.
I was not kicking for balls. Yeah, no.
Sure.
But I got back into it because my groin sort of, miraculously just never bothered me again. After that, blow blood. So I think it was the blow
Come
blood.
on, come on.
So maybe it was
Yes,
the blow
I can't
blood.
believe you just said that. I can't believe you
Basil
just said
and
that.
who were the fitness guys, Basil and them. Maybe they sorted me out. But yeah, so I've lost.
Yeah, funny on that tip of that. I've just got an image that I pulled up here. This is you kicking. Tell me more about this image. Where's this? What's
Oh,
this?
wow.
This is STN21. This is that warm-up game we played before the World Cup. Free State Stadium. I remember it very clearly.
Yeah.
I can't remember who we were playing. I'm trying to remember who we were
Not
playing.
many duckies were kicking for balls back then.
Yeah, so
It's not like now.
So it was me and Sway Swart.
It's like
with the fly-offs.
quarterbacks. Our fly house were quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were a
yeah.
rare breed. You were a unicorn back then.
different, man.
So yeah, Jake, believed in the brothers. He's always believed in the brothers. Always backed the brothers.
Shout out, Jake.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jake White. He had a huge impact in a lot of people's lives, And yeah, for me, he was there, gave me the chance, backed me, and all I could do was play, Yeah.
And then this one, what's going on here?
Oh, love.
This looks a bit nostalgic. Eh? What's going on here? I see
The
Boks
brothers,
there.
all the
All the brothers.
So all the brothers
What's
are
the G?
there. Yeah, man. Coach Lofi. So yeah, I spoke about it a bit earlier on. Coach Lofi. Yeah, man. He if you know the story about Bobs and how he got Bobs up to the Lions. So Bobs is always 2 years ahead of me.
Yeah.
And so getting here and then meeting Lofi and having the opportunity to play with two of my oldest and best friends was a dream come true. That's Opola Siwunda on the right.
Siwunda, yeah.
And then that's Oginga Siwunda
OG,
in the middle, and then Bobes and myself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, mentioning Bobes.
Yeah? What?
Sorry, just the thought that ran through my head. It's like, whoa, okay, we spoke about Kaunda Dunja, and now we're speaking about Bobes. I'm noticing a pattern here. It's just Dalians, you know? I don't know about you. I don't know about you, hey?
There you go.
No.
I don't know about you, Kuru.
You always find
He always tries
The red herrings.
Always
one
wants a
in an
cap.
episode.
Always wants a cap.
Hey,
Just to get off topic, I've got a small message here that I got from the guy you just mentioned, who kind of looked up.
The name Tsepo Kokoali is a very special name. So the first time I heard this name was when I was looking for a fly-off fullback center that was creative, that could fit into our sort of style of play when I was still coaching at the Lions, which was a quick game. And Kubani Bobo told me about Tsepo Kokoali. And then I saw Tsepo playing in the World Cup, Junior World Cup 2002 at Ellis Park. I think they played the final there, but I saw him during the tournament, and I liked something about this young boy. And I recruited him to the Lions junior setup, where I had the privilege, it's really a privilege to work with a player like Tsepo Kokoali. And he played for me at the juniors, at the under-21s, and at senior rugby when I was coaching the backline. Now, if I think about Tsepo Kokoali, let's talk about the rugby per se. Tsepo had rugby IQ, saying that he had an X factor as a player, but he understood the dynamics of the game. He could quickly summarize on the field what was happening and make decisions and then execute. He was a team player and just a special player. And wherever he came onto the field or started, he made a difference. If you think about Tsepo's personality, he's not this frontline guy talking loud, being in front. He was quiet spoken. He had a sense of humor, always laughing. That's one thing I'll remember of Tsep. I called him Tseps. He was always laughing, bringing a lot of energy to the team. And I think back at the range, he had a little good naughtiness in him as well. He would often, if we speak about the game, give his point of view. He stood for what he believed in. And yeah, he's just one of those guys. He left the Lions and went to the Cheetahs, and I really believed that he was going to play for the Springboks. He had all the makings, but you know, sometimes in life, these things don't work out. But I can just say Tsepo Kokoali is one very, very special boy, and he'll always have a special place in my heart. The one thing I know that all the boys that I've coached I treated them like my own children, with love and discipline. And he was one of them. And yeah, that's Tseps.
The love. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, that guy, he was there for us, you know?
Yeah.
At a time when no one was there.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, literally, he was there. He made a difference in a lot of people's lives. Yeah.
I'm sure it's the last.
And we
thing
stayed in touch. We chat all the time on Facebook.
Oh, really?
No, so that's the thing. He's like we had a really like dope friendship, you know. And he's
No.
Thanks, Lof. That
That's dope,
was some amazing words. Thanks.
Yeah. What a good man. He was. I think. Fudge touched base with him, and he was more than willing and keen to kind of like holler and say a word about you. I think obviously you guys have obviously become lifetime friends, and as you say, he did a lot for you and many other players back then. So sorry, I'm getting a bit.
How does that make you feel, man?
Yeah,
How
guys,
does that make
man,
you feel?
it's I actually want that. Can I get that? Yeah.
No. That's quality of.
No, man. Yeah. As I said to you like earlier on, you know, in the chat, you know, it was a different time, you know, and we didn't have a lot of support, you know. So when someone came and like made a huge effort.
When you say we, what do you mean specifically?
So I came and joined Kobani and Oginga. So Kobani came up first, and then Oginga came, and so they were already here. They won the year before the 21 World and 21 Curry Cup. So yeah, I got into that, and I luckily just got there, joined. Lofi loved me, and he had it a bit backwards there. in his old age. I think he's forgotten that the time frame. But I joined from 18 years old, and I played 3 years for the Lions.
Yeah.
Under 21s and seniors. And he coached me as a.
That's crazy. I'm going through. Sorry, Fudge. Do you want to say something?
No, man. I just looked there.
Yeah.
I just saw what you're looking at.
Sorry, man.
I can't continue.
I don't know if any words are needed. Yeah.
Stop there, bro.
Tell me about this one, Baga.
So listen here. I think you must first go
I
ask.
remember that live.
First, go ask Carlos Spencer about his handoff, and then come ask me. Guys, that's Richard Bands there. That's Richard Bands.
Yeah, don't play, eh? Don't play games.
He broke through. It was 1-on-1. 1-on-1 with a rampaging rhino.
And you went for the neck. Look at it.
No. So I
went
thought,
straight.
this thing. I thought, let me go low. Then I thought, Carlos Spencer. Then I was like, let me go high. Then I was like, no. He's gonna bash you like Carlos Spencer. No,
Yeah.
I said, let me go high. Then I thought, no, Carlos Spencer. Then I said, let me go low. And I was like, no, not my shoulder. So that's me there.
But you always think, not my shoulder,
Not my
mate.
shoulder. That's me there trying, I don't know, for dear life, holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
You can even see us. You can even see us.
He's
Like, whoa. You know, Tsepo, I've always had a question, right? So I remember experiencing my first ever experience of being bounced in rugby. Like, I got bounced 2 more times after that because I was just out of the game after that. Like, is there something that, do they train you guys? Like, okay, you know what, this is a part of the game, or maybe it comes with maturity, you know, as the game evolves. Like, does that not take you out of the game when a play like that happens? Like, how do you recover from that?
Nah, dude, you gotta
I've
just
always
get up.
wondered.
You gotta just get up.
Gotta get on with it, right?
Shake it off, get up, and
then
keep
you just
going.
continue
Yeah,
doing
you
it.
gotta keep
Get a
going.
smile on your face as quickly as possible, mate. Because
like-
now you've got a target on your back,
Yeah.
and you've got to start remembering your technique and all that. And you can't do that in a
Okay.
bad mood.
Okay.
You cannot do that in a bad mood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
It's
you
a
need
nice
to,
way of putting it.
right?
Nah, you
right?
gotta-
Because now they're coming for you, buddy.
Yeah, they're
And-
seeing you're the rabbits in the team now.
You know what I'm saying? And I've always wondered, with the fullback especially, cross-covering, now you're the last man of defense. It's a
man.
Richard Bands. The famous breaks, probably the most famous prop breaks, line breaks I've ever seen.
I was
My
looking
favorite
around.
replays.
I was looking around. Connie Potts with someone else. Like,
You know, like going for the ball and your technique is telling you go down, you must go low, you must commit your shoulder, you must wrap your arms. You know what I mean? Do not close your eyes. Look up at that giant thigh coming towards you. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that time you're also hearing Dr. Fantonda say, listen, your shoulder, but
Science teacher at 16 is telling you about
who do you
momentum.
listen to?
Yeah.
It's a split decision. It's a split second decision.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Then another one I see is just popped up. I think there's a lot to tell about this team. There's a lot of legends there.
The brothers.
I see Os there. I see the brothers there. I see Kaunda. I see Tsimba. I see Hanyani.
You're
Wow.
missing,
What's going on
you're
there?
missing Ghost there. That's Gerry Brits.
Oh, Gerry.
Gerry Brits next to us. That's Adrian Strauss there with the afro.
Oh, no ways.
And that's Helgard Miller in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
He was the team manager.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good times, man. The Cheetahs, it was good times there. And as I said, that's one place where the brothers got a chance as well.
Yeah.
What year was this? What year was this?
This is 2003,
Okay.
Yes.
if not 4. 2003.
Legendary years, mate. If you remember the Cheetahs in those years,
Yeah.
I think it was everyone's. It's still a stigma and like a thing that's said now. Everyone's second best team.
Yeah, you know, like
Everyone's second favorite team.
that,
So you're a Shark supporter, but you wish you're a Cheetah supporter.
that photo there, yes, just reminds me of Ukawunda, you know. And I wanted to say one thing, you know. I don't think people understand. We have known Kawunda since way back, right? We met in 98 or 99. Cape Schools or something. One of
I
these
was
schools.
born there.
One of these schools festivals. Jeepers, making me feel old. Yeah. And yeah, long story. But my point was that Kawunda at practice was okay. Let's call out the flankers that were there at that time. It was Johan Smith. It was Henry Scholes. It was Gerry Brits. It was I'll tell you now, Rassi. I mean.
How could
Rassi.
I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
It was the Rasta, and then it was, dude, there were about 7 or 8. Like either they're playing Boks or they're playing Super Rugby.
Yeah.
And Ukawunda was there every Monday was Kleinveld.
Yeah.
Don't mistake that.
Yeah,
Ompiet. Monday, Kleinveld, como se mark the mana sachis. And Yeah, man. So he had huge competition, and every Monday, Kawunda would be there stirring. He would be there at the bottom, pulling balls out, getting hits, getting shoulders, getting fists. And so I think people don't understand what he had to go through. And I just wanted to make note of the people that he had to try get ahead of were Springbok or like about to be a Springbok.
Yeah, world-class players.
And so everyone always like thought that, no, he never got a chance. Dude, he was fighting every Monday to get a chance, but it was Henry Scholz, it was Juan.
insane.
I mean,
He
it was
was
Juan.
insane.
He was insane.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this Monday. He's stealing.
Yeah.
Come on, Nepal, Kawun.
He came and he played with, I think I was at Rovers at the time at 21, and we were in the Sharks junior, I think under 19 or whatever it was, around that time. But the guy was a monster, and he's sorely missed. Remember his legendary, then he went into commentary, and that legendary piece that we all kind of listen to every so often, that classic commentary for the Springboks.
Created a path for all of us.
He was a real groundbreaker,
Legacy.
Homage to him. He's a legend that you played with, and the skip was this. So there's another one. Someone I want to see that you kind of tell me about this photo.
Which one's that?
This photo and this man, Mabeta Ngobeni,
So
What's happening there?
the cyclist.
Vata is cycling.
Build it. Sponsored by Build It.
He's
By the
cycling.
way.
Yeah, we are outside Rouville in the Eastern Cape. He's cycling from Joburg.
Isn't that the Free State area? That
N6 on the N6.
Wow.
He's cycling from Joburg to Queenstown.
What?
Raise funds for Queen's College.
No way.
Oh, God,
Yes.
he's the Queen here.
He's a Queen, so Queen's College.
Queen,
So he called me. I was in Alwal North. So he called me, whatever. So I drove out to go meet him on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But crazy. Uvata, I got stories about Uvata. Come on, man.
Well, talking about stories, advisor stories, someone wanted to kind of holler and say a little something to you this afternoon.
Hi, Tsepo, Vata here. Yeah, man, good man that you are. I just want to go back to sort of way back in Bloemfontein. I think the first time I saw you in the early 2000s playing under 21 rugby at fullback for the Cheetahs. And I remember, I think I might have been with the Usimnikwe Xabanisa, where I was reporting in for the Pretoria News. He was for the Sunday Times. And you just stuck out, man. You were just one of those players, you had so much time on the ball. And every time you got it, you'd make the right decision, whether to kick or whether to run or when to pass and so on. And, we just both said that this kid's going to go very, very far. And almost a year later, you were playing Currie Cup rugby, and even then, as well, you really impressed us with the maturity and in the way in which you just played the game and understood it. We kept on watching you almost every weekend. And, there was talk within the media itself that, this is a guy that's going to go very, very far. And, we felt your pain when you got injured. I remember when you suffered your first groin injury. And you sort of struggled to get back, and then you sort of got a lifeline at the Sharks. And I thought right there and then, that Dick knew I was going to make something special out of you. And having spoken to Dick, he truly believed that you would have become a Springbok had you not suffered your second groin injury and had to go for an op. And I truly believe in his words that had it not been for injuries, you would have definitely done the green and gold. But what an amazing player you were. So easy on the eye, wonderful to watch. You gave us such heart-stopping moments, but in a good way. And then just off the field, I can't forget a certain 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in Durban and Point Road, where it stopped at the Steers. After a game, us journalists go out and we party hard as well, do what you players do, and then we bumped into you. I think you were still driving an MG then, and I think someone and I said, "What are you doing here? You're meant to be, recuperating." And then you told us about your second groin operation. and we commiserated with you, but we shared our chips and burger and just reminisced about the good old days in Bloem. And then I'm fortunate to call you a good friend because afterwards, we really, I think, connected. And the fact that you cousins with Usandi, Lunzegeli, Mwali Soul, really entrenched our sort of friendship, and I will never forget the week of my wedding, and I was running around organizing, and I bumped into you, Tata, and there you were helping me that week organize all the drinks for the wedding. I was able to get everything I required from you. You were just such a trooper in helping me on that week. And then afterwards, watching you grow, getting into the sports industry, and it's been a pleasure watching you do your stuff, and also watching you from a distance, being a father. So I've known you as a young rugby player, almost Springbok. That was wonderful, but I think watching you grow as a man and us being friends, and watching your journey in life has been such a pleasure. And thank you for allowing me to share in that. I wish you so many more happy days. Just as a human being, you deserve that. And long may our friendship last. You're a good man. And you deserve to be celebrated in all manners of ways. Looking forward to our next get together. I'm sure it's going to be epic and one for the memory books as well. Ta, Coco.
Dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, over
yeah.
That one hits home, because he's known me since I was a lighty.
Yeah.
And how we've grown to become mates, it's
Yeah.
I think that's what rugby does, You make these friends that you know for life.
Sure.
So your friends become brothers.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I didn't don't want to choke you up too much.
As I'm watching that video, I'm thinking, are any of you guys in Rugby 08? Like the PlayStation game? Who's in Rugby 08?
Rugby.
Are you in Rugby 08? You're not in Rugby. How did you not make that? What?
No, I actually don't even know. No, actually I don't know. But
That's
I know rugby. Boks was the face of that thing in 2003. Remember that?
What?
He was the face of EA Sports.
That's the one I remember.
I remember Rugby 05. That was my first one.
2003.
I had Rugby 05.
I don't think we were playing rugby.
There's actually a photo
I was
there.
very
There's a photo you've got
disappointed
there.
in
Yeah.
that rugby.
You didn't
Against
appear in
the Boks.
08.
Oh,
03 for
Yeah.
me was
That's-
the game to play, man.
Yeah. So
Rugby.
you don't
You
like
host the
08?
Gary Owen.
Oh, I got it. Oh.
That was the one.
That was a good one.
That's nice.
Funny, Coco. You
Nice.
speak about a good friend of yours and the face of the EA Sport game and all of that. There's someone I'm gonna make a quick call to just check how he is. Let's hope he answers the call. Otherwise,
Otherwise, you will.
So swell, Jiggy Jehovah.
I've got your.
Oh, you with the cocoa.
Yeah, man. We're just doing a little pod here. We got Coco in the house. I know you guys go way back. You can just, holler at Coco. Give me a little tidbits about your boy.
Give us something nice for TikTok. Tell us a story.
I met funny story. A few years ago, which is more than actually, it's actually on the date. So
30.
now it's the 95-25. So you do the math. So I met Coco. I thought, who is this brah? And I walk into Langa, and this guy is standing out there. Always had a ride. He used to take his dad's car when he was still underage and drive around. and that spoke to me, like thinking about the guy, sort of like he had the presence at a very young age. and our friendship grew from then. And it was interesting because he used to miss his first team games at Bishops to come and watch Rondebosch. So
Wow.
the cat is out of the bag.
I used to play my under
The
16
bag.
game. I used to play my under 16 game and run across to watch these guys.
No, it's a great expenditure of school fees.
So the cat was out of the bag, and funny enough, we left school, and that's what we did. We used to go watch Bishops because Coco was playing at fullback, and what a special player. I mean, the lines he used to cut. I know he's one of his favorite players is Christian Cullen. You know why? Because his second name is Christian. And this is how you used to get rentals when he used to come to the suburbs, calling himself Christian.
Oh, my government. That's my government name.
You gotta handle your scandal.
Yeah.
And the one thing that always stuck out with Tsepo was that he was a creative player who stood his ground. It didn't matter what, and I think it's the mental resilience. That one thing that people really don't know about Tsepo. Tsepo, I mean, you coming from Bishops. Oh no, I'm on the phone.
Hey, such a daddy.
Hey, father.
You can't swim. Yeah, no, I'm a father these days. And that thing sort of showed up because at a very early age, he was called upon to go represent in the senior level and play for the Griffins. As one of his mentors, Basil Bay, called him out to play at the Griffins, and that was at the start of the Vodacom Cup those days. And he went there and he pretty much excelled. But it was an environment where he could not really sort of thrive in. And he came over for the weekend once to come visit us in Johannesburg. I was with Oginga. And we convinced him that he should stay. And we made a call to Eugene Hill of Lofi. And seamlessly, he just walked into our side. I remember his very first game where we were playing against the Sharks. And so we had this call. So like our first move was to split the centers and let him run through. So the first time he's playing and we were up against some tough centers, and I wanted to make sure that he could feel comfortable within the space. So I made the call, and Tsepo got the first ball, and it was a crash ball in between the two centers, and he got milked. As he was milked, I went over to him. I said, you know what? That's how hard it gets. It never gets any harder than that. So this is welcome to it. Let's get going. And you can see how comfortable he got because that sort of gave him the confidence and understanding that he could thrive within that space. And he went on to win the Under-20 World Cup. I think it was a year after playing for South Africa with the legends of the game. And he's been that man. And some people don't even understand this man captained the Nuffle Week, Western Province. Just shows you what an athlete he was. And always appreciated his input and his creativity. An entrepreneur nowadays and someone who really knows how to manage things and create opportunity for other people to thrive. And it's been a pleasure to know him as a friend and as a brother.
Yo.
Peace, bro. Peace, bro. One love, bro.
Yeah, man. Boks, thanks so much for taking the time out to speak about your brother and go look after the kids and teach One how to swim there, boy.
Yeah, no, she knows how to swim. It's just the thing is she can't be swimming today.
No. So swell. Thank you so much for joining, my brother. Thanks for saying those words. We'll see you soon on the fairways and greens, yeah?
Yeah, you know, River Club, baby.
Sure, Pops. Thanks a lot, yeah?
Sure, Buddha.
Sharp. Sure, my guy.
He's so swell, Jiggy Jehovah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
That's other,
so
his
swell.
other alias. AKA Naftali.
Yeah.
Is that his rap name
He
or
was
what?
Russ. No, when he was Russ. When he was Rasta.
Videos are Rasta.
Ah,
Yeah. No, man, Cokes. You know, we were so stoked to have you here today. Sinaye, what's going on? Are we talking weekend? What's happening?
yeah, man. You touched on the weekend. It's time for the weekend wonders.
Yeah, so this weekend it's quite interesting. EPL, we're gonna have obviously the young computer, technology. EPL this weekend, and obviously we've got the Australian finals and all of that going on. And interesting times, Fudge. I heard you're ranting and raving about how hot the EPL is looking at the moment.
Yeah, mate. Come on now.
Yeah.
Things are looking a little bit unpredictable. Even a lot of the coaches are saying that, actually.
Yeah.
They're saying that you don't really know.
Yeah.
Teams that are at the bottom of the log aren't really bottom of the log teams. Tottenham looks like they're going to get relegated, but everyone knows they're not going to get relegated, but they're not going to finish in the top 8. You know what I mean? It's just a weird league, which I love. I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Similar to the Champions Cup, we got knocked down with the South African sides, whatnot, but I think a lot to look forward to, especially Liverpool and a few L's.
No, the biggest game this coming weekend on the 25th, Manchester City versus Chelsea.
Yeah, that's definitely the pick of the weekend.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
about that.
if I just run through the weekend games that are quite interesting, obviously for Gogs' sake and the Liga fans out there, there's Atletico Madrid playing at home to Villarreal, and then there's Real Madrid to Valladolid away. I'll probably take both the Madrids on that. The odds are quite okay on Atletico Madrid at 6-10, Real Madrid at 30-10. They both should get through the door there. And then the other one on the Sunday, I think is Barcelona Valencia. They're in the chase. Obviously, they're sitting in third spot at the moment. Barca should bank that up at home, but don't let Valencia slip on maybe doing Real Madrid a favour and getting in with a young draw there on the back end. But then English Premier League, Liverpool surely should carry on and
Ipswich.
against Ipswich.
Bournemouth. After that.
Tough fighting
Tricky.
relegation.
Tricky. Now, but look, Liverpool looks the most consistent. Who do you support, Coco?
Man United.
Man United.
Man
Yeah,
United.
Sorry,
yeah.
no wonder it just flew over.
Just over. Don't ask me.
Sorry, Lion. My apologies.
And then
Get back.
for us, we play Wolves away. What do you think?
We have to, mate.
Yeah.
We have to. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
choice. And I think we can expect a few big performances, from your Hoodegaard. I think he owes us one or two, But at the same time, I don't know what to expect. Where's our striker? What's going on, Harvey? What's going on, Harvey?
Yeah.
You tell me, mate.
Do you know what's so crazy for me? Is I didn't even know this guy watches soccer like that.
I do. Well, PlayStation.
I'm learning new things about you, dog.
Boks has no clue how many times we select. Like, man, I knew so much about Boks, the way he played and everything. From that game in 2003. I was a board at Grey High School, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to do?
What else
man?
are you gonna do?
We played
And
all the
then
games.
Luxon, we're trying Liverpool. No, man, that's nothing. Paying 10 cents to the rand. Liverpool are playing at home.
Yeah, they're gonna do.
Yeah. They know Arsenal are going at 5-10, and Wolves are just under 6-1. So that should be interesting if you fancy Arsenal to kind of to drop the ball again. The draw is even paying just under 4-1. So that's quite interesting in itself. And as Sinaye was saying, the big one on Saturday, last game of the weekend, 7:30, Man City play Chelsea. Any chances of your team coming through there, Chad?
Look, I know we've got the most away game wins when it comes to us versus Man
Thank you,
City.
Lion. I'm supporting you.
We've got 13, they've got 8. All right? Away wins. We've got more, all right?
Okay, I'm supporting your Chelsea.
Right, but to be honest, I think Man City's on the cuff right now. I think they might beat us. I'll have to be very honest. From what I've been watching,
They're making a run at the moment.
yeah.
How does
no.
Cole do it? How does
They
Cole
make
do
it
it? Did you
yeah,
see the
I love
mascot?
Cole.
Did you see the mascot, bro? How could
So I'm giving it 3-2 to Man City.
All right. Yeah.
Man City.
Good call. Maybe.
As a Chelsea supporter.
I have to be realistic with this, bro.
I don't know. No, man. It's very disappointing.
And then Sunday, this could spell the end of old Ange there at Spurs, our dear friends, Arsenal friends. They're playing at home, but they're playing to Leicester. And if you're looking for something juicy, I'd look at either a draw or Leicester there, just as a shock result and to kind of spell the end of Ange's career there at Tottenham. And Yeah, it's tenor. That's the right English. It's tenor. And then the last game of the weekend is Fulham against your team, Manchester United.
Fulham all the way.
Speak to me, chap.
Come on, save the best for last.
Speak to me, chap. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Fulham.
Talk to me.
I don't even have confidence.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
I actually call us winning there 2-1.
And that's
scoring?
okay.
At
Interesting.
least the loyalty's still there.
Okay.
At least. Yeah.
So yeah, off the back of that, because we've got a special guest, I think I'm gonna back that. That's a nice price, 2-1. I reckon I'll put $2,000 on that, $4,000 to my $2,000.
2-1.
We can kind of see what we do. Take you out for a steak dinner if that comes through for me.
Yeah. 2-1. Man,
That's lekker.
Yeah, Fulham
Hey.
are actually the favourites for that game. Quite interesting enough. Yeah.
There we go.
Money,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Come on,
Hey,
man.
man.
Hey, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so that's it, Sinaye. In terms of that's the weekend, and that's it. Let's see. I think my bet for the weekend after all of this chat, I think I'm gonna back our special guest team at 2-1. I'm gonna put a 2 on it.
I'm also betting
If
on
we
that.
make a 4 out of the 2 and we make it a 6, we can take us. What do they call the guys that are doing the stuff behind the
He's
scenes?
doing it again. He's
Eh?
doing it
BTS.
again.
Oh,
BTS.
oh,
Pay
behind the
attention
scenes.
now. Pay
Hey,
attention
bruv.
now.
We
Clocked
we
it.
do the BTS guys and we do
Okay.
the boys and we go out for a nice steak dinner. Maybe we go to the Argentinian hangout.
Hey.
I won't mention his name.
Okay.
You've got to come and pay attention for that. But they kind of do all like flame grilled stuff. It's quite dope. It's out in Rosebank.
Yeah.
So if that bet comes through, Coco, dinner on you. It's a date.
We're supporting Man United, boys.
Hey.
We're doing that.
We are. For the
I'm
first
doing
time.
it. We lost out last year. I'm doing it.
Alright,
No,
alright.
we in. Yeah. So that's it, Sinaye. That's it for the weekend from now.
To you, Coco, I just want to reiterate from everybody that's here in the studio. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. You know, you could have been golfing. You could have been doing so many things right now. You know, your
Boks.
fiance right now. You know, you could have been tending to your future wife. You know, but you took time out of your busy schedule to come and join us. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for being a first guest on Vibes and Victories. It's an historic one.
Thank you,
so
man.
much.
Thank
brother.
you, guys. Thank you so much for the love, man. And it was very emotional.
Yeah.
But I think it was one of those that, I mean, hearing Lofi and hearing Vata and just the Bobes. Guys, it really, it hit home. And thank you. I love this vibe. I got you now. Got you.
Straight away.
Got you. Stop betting,
Just every time you win a bet, just do this.
It's Vibes and Victories.
No, for real. One love, man. One love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
bro.
you so
And
much
for those who
Thanks
might
for
not
indulging
know,
us, please.
those who might not know, like myself, before this interview, where can we find you on social media?
Yo, I'm at Tsepo Koko, to other people.
Yeah.
TSEPOKOKO.
Yeah.
That's me.
Please, we hope that this episode is nothing but vibes and victories as always. You know, we hope that you enjoyed yourself and it was a good time. It was good to get to know you as a sport fanatic myself and as a rugby fan myself. It was good to get to know you and understand your career and for you to unpack everything that you unpacked for us. From us at Vibes and Victories, we are signing out, and of course, we bring you consistency, unlike Arsenal over here. All right, we always bring consistency. All right, first episode of the year, we came on with fire. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will see you guys on the next episode.